Hey guys, real quick before the video starts, I want to let you guys know that Quixotic Nation is hosting a giveaway for a $20 Blizzard gift card, so if any of you are interested, I'll leave the link to the Gleam in the description below. Now on to the video. So it's been about a week and a half since OB65 hit and brought us Moji. Since then I've spent quite a bit of time with this adorable little red fuzzball, and I have to say I absolutely love her. I love her so much that I've already gone and gotten her to level 20. Yes, that's right, level 20. Don't believe me? Look at that. See that? Yeah, you do. And friends. I got that on Wednesday and I am proud of it. You cannot take that pride away from me no matter how many boosters I may have stacked to get it. Anyway though, since I've played her so much, it is safe to say I know her inside and out. I haven't seen many people talk about her so far, like they've talked about other characters at their releases. We all know people had a lot to say about Vivian and Terminus, but that's mainly because they were very powerful, and Moji, well, everyone says Moji is bad, and that's pretty much it. Bottom of the barrel even. I personally wouldn't go that far. I mean, I've done some pretty crazy things with her myself. But even though I've done that, and I love her to death, I gotta admit that Moji isn't all that great. Moji isn't as bad as Talus or Inara at the time of their releases, no, not even close, but Moji is definitely in need of a little love. So what's wrong with her? Well, for starters, Moji is a flank, and you know how Hi-Rez is with flanks. They love making them weak because they aren't new player friendly. Flanks were originally this hypermobile class that were very good at taking out isolated targets. Now they're this class that's still good at taking out isolated targets, but without the hypermobility. Moji is a flank that doesn't have any vertical mobility, and while flanks don't necessarily need that to be viable, it does increase the amount of maps they can be comfortably ran on. Like, would you rather have Maeve or Moji on a map with a lot of high ground? Moji not having vertical mobility hurts her a bit, but Moji can still get around the map pretty quickly with Scamper thanks to its low cooldown. So I don't think the mobility really needs to be messed with. I don't think that's too big of a problem. Moji does have plenty of other problems though, like her ult. Now her ult itself is very powerful, don't get me wrong. It's a skill shot that lets you turn anyone into a snack as long as it isn't blocked. If you come into contact with the snack, your familiar eats it and the victim is immediately executed and cannot self-revive. Sorry term, not only did they nerf you 4 times, they also gave your ult a direct counter. Another direct counter. Now, Moji's ult itself is very good, however coming into contact with it can be a lot harder than it sounds. Half the time your base movement speed isn't enough to catch up with the snack, so they can just walk away, and if they have Nimble 1 and you don't, then they'll probably walk away every time. Scamper can help you close the gap very quickly, but Scamper has latency problems. Where you are on your screen when you're scampering is not always where you are to the enemy. Like for example, I could scamper into cover, but on the enemy screen I'll still be where I started scampering from, so they can kill me and I'll teleport right back to where I started scampering like it never happened. This of course also affects the snack, because if Scamper is delayed on their screen, you're gonna miss the snack even if you clearly hit it. The only time you can ever really have 100% success with this ultimate is if you ult somebody as they're walking or backing up towards you. Outside of that, it could be random. So what I'd like to see is the snack get a set movement speed that isn't affected by speed bonuses. Resilience is what should really be the only item counter to this. If it wasn't a skill shot, then I guess I would be okay with 2 items countering it, but right now you have to land the ultimate without them getting out of the way or blocking it, then you have to get them without them getting away, and you also have to ult somebody in a safe enough way to keep yourself from dying during the eating animation, because that locks you out of all of your abilities. Now, needless to say, on top of the set movement speed thing, I'd also like to see Scamper's latency problems fixed, please and thank you. Outside of those 2 things, there is another big problem I have with Moji, and it has to do with her barrier. Her barrier is very good, don't get me wrong. It blocks any source of damage, including things that would normally go through barriers like Drogos's, Zin's, and Sky's ults. It lasts for 2 seconds, and like Androx's reversal, it cannot be cancelled. Now, this isn't my problem with the ability. My problem with it is that you can be cauterized while it's up. That doesn't make any sense to me. If they aren't hitting me with their attacks, then why am I being cauterized? It is so silly to me that part of me is convinced it's a bug. If Moji puts up her barrier to get healed, you can keep attacking the barrier to keep her from getting healed. Now, if you attack the barrier at all, you do get a full mark on you, but that's not always going to be enough to keep enemies from firing at you. Plus, when you put it up, it's likely you're going to get hit by accident anyways, so if they already have the mark on themselves, then there's no real reason to stop firing and let the cot wear off of you. Being cauterized during your barrier also hurts, what I feel sets Moji apart from the other flanks, and that's her self-sustain capabilities. Buck also has good self-sustain, but not quite to the level of Moji, because Moji doesn't really have it on a cooldown. And that's because of Snack Attack, which I believe is her best legendary. Toot is awful, never use it. Boom Boom is easily countered by the enemy not standing literally right next to each other. And Yummy, well, I've talked about the problems with her ult already, and there's no point in running Yummy if you can't even get the snack half the time. If they fix that, then it could be really good, but right now it's not. So yeah, to me, Snack Attack is the best. It's an 800 health pickup that stays on the ground for a few seconds, so not only can you keep yourself up in a fight by getting a limbs, but you can also leave the pickups there for a small amount of time to use when you need them. I also want to add that the card Symbiotic makes it so you receive more healing while under 50% health, and this works with Snack Attack, so you can be getting around 1000 health from one pickup. What I like to do is get an elimination, hurt somebody else a bit, and then when they think they have me beat, I put up my barrier and use it to safely get the pickup, and since they can't see the pickup on their screen, they're caught off guard every time. However, this doesn't always work because some people aren't turned off from attacking the barrier even though it puts a full mark on them, so they keep attacking me and cauterizing me. And this is only going to get worse and worse the more people find out that you can cauterize her during her barrier, and this video is not helping that. So yeah, I think that if they made it so you couldn't be cauterized during the barrier, then Moji would be a lot better. It doesn't have to cleanse it, but just don't let it be reapplied while it's up. Some may worry that Moji could become too difficult to kill with that, but her hitbox is massive. Moji is by far the easiest flank to hit in the game. You cannot possibly miss her. So I wouldn't worry about her becoming too difficult to kill. Now about the hitbox, I feel like it could be made a bit smaller and that would also make her better, but I really doubt this can happen. I feel like Hi-Rez designed her character to be that wide so that people wouldn't have trouble hitting her like they do with the other flanks. I don't really feel like Moji has very many other big problems, and I think if the things I mentioned were addressed, then Moji could become a viable option because right now, outside of messing around in casuals, I don't really see Moji ever getting picked in any serious setting. Anyway, what do you guys think about her? Do you agree that Moji needs a buff? Do you think Moji is fine? Or do you even maybe think Moji is too good? I have had a few people say that to me, believe it or not. Also, if you think that Moji does in fact need a buff, let me know what you would do to her. And that's pretty much it, guys. I want to thank you all for watching. I very much appreciate it, and I'm going to see you guys later. Bye!